Do you love made-for-TV movies? We sure do. We always have. In 30 years of friendship, we've laughed, cried, diagnosed, and obsessed over every made-for-TV movie we could get our eyes on.
Do you know that most made-for-TV movies are about amazing people who have risked their lives to change the world?
We'll be taking you through the last 60 years of some of the most powerful stories. We'll see what's changed and what's exactly the same.
We also love a nice synthesizer and a sweet satin blouse, and we think you will too.
I'm Steph.
I'm Liz.
And this is
No One Would Tell, Except Us podcast.
Welcome to No One Can Tell Except Us podcast. I'm Steph.
I'm Liz.
We hope everyone's doing well. Today we are very excited. Of course, we're always excited, but today is definitely a touchstone film. And we are probably going to have a few parts because this is epic. And there's also a sequel to the movie. You don't see that every day. You don't see that every day. That's how big the story is. We are talking about A Woman Scorned, the Betty Broderick story from 1992. And I know we've done a few where they have the name of the person in the title, but I thought it was interesting that it was like, she is a criminal and we're still going to put her name in the title. Like, I thought that was really interesting. Like, they were like, we're going to give her props, you know, like it's all good.
Yeah, this is like one of those made for TV movies that I feel like even if you don't watch them on the regular, like if you grew up like in the 90s, like you know this movie. Like this is one of those movies, like I said, I think like a long time ago, I said to you, if you watch both, it's 4 hours long, but you're like, I could watch more. Like you could rewatch it. Like it's just that good. It's
Give me
so
more.
good. Yeah.
Give me more.
Give me more bets.
So we've got our girl, Meredith Baxter, who, you know, I mean, I always felt like she was definitely a mom and just a mom. So she was perfect for this movie.
Yeah, she plays mom and crazy like really, really well. Like she's really good. She's versatile, but you know, she's the mom from Family Ties and she's just a really good actress. I mean, she's been in a lot of things, but she's really good as Betty. She sells it. And you know what was crazy was that, I mean, nothing against Meredith. She did amazing. But actually in the interview on Oprah, like with Betty's real children, they were like, Oprah asked them, like, what did you think of the movie? And they were like, it didn't even encapsulate all the emotions that our mom showed. So I was like, holy moly, like they played her down. So if you watch this, just know this is like the subdued Betty. So there's a lot to Betty.
This is like B- Betty.
This is made for TV movie Betty.
There are a lot more layers to this onion. That is Betty. Then we have Stephen Collins, who is in the middle of some gross Me Too stuff. And we'll probably save that for the Babysitter's Seduction episode. Like, we'll get into him.
I love that movie.
It's not his show. Yeah,
no,
this is not his show.
He plays weird dad really well.
He does. He plays like weird, awkward dad. And also I was thinking about how he was also in First Wives Club, which was like a pretty hot movie, like Goldie Hawn and Bette Midler and Diane Keaton. And it was like, oh my gosh, like my husband's leaving me. And I remember even in that movie, I'm like, so what? Like he's just like not appealing to me like at all.
Yeah, I don't get the swoon factor of him.
No.
And he was the dad. I only knew him from, what's that weird Seventh Heaven. And we always watched Seventh Heaven as a family, which if you rewatch that, and I know a lot of people have, it is the most demented show. Like, I don't even know how that was like seen as like moral or good. Like, it was just so weird. It was so weird.
So wacky.
We loved it. We always watched it. I mean, every week.
mean, a lot of people did.
Big show. Yeah, but he's such a perv. He's so weird in real life.
Yeah, so he's in it. So, all right. So you know how I feel about titles, right? So like when this opened and I saw like the fancy italicized scripting, I was like, all right, like we're getting classy. We're talking money. I see the ocean. This is going to be elite. So it was a strong opening.
Betty Broderick is basically, it's a real story. This happened in the late 80s. And she is like a really well-to-do housewife. I mean, she had worked when her husband was going through law school. He's a medical lawyer and he made it big. And now this kind of takes place when they have like lots of money and they're living like in a beautiful home, and they have like, you know, the vacation home and the ski vacations and everything like that. They have 4 children that are in, you know, very good schools. And by all purposes, she just looks like a very dedicated, hardworking mom that keeps the family together. And through it, their marriage starts to kind of, you know, be rocky. And I think she felt, we can get into all of that. She felt unappreciated, blah, blah, blah. He has an affair, kind of. They don't really allude to like it being an affair, but it pretty much was. And then she's like also like kind of losing her marbles and getting really like aggressive. And so he files for divorce, and this just like sets her off, and she becomes obsessed with everything about him and his new wife and the life she was supposed to have. Really, she's mostly upset about the life I think she thought she deserved. And she goes to their home one night and she murders her ex-husband and his new wife like in their bed. And it's then following her story. And basically, she's not remorseful at all. I don't even think to this day she's remorseful. Like, she's still in jail. I don't think she'll ever get out, because she's basically like, what's the BFD? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he deserved it.
She does not give a care. She does not give a care.
She's like, he deserved it, guys. Like, I'm the innocent one. Like, see you later. So yeah, Beth's gonna stay in jail. But that's pretty much the story.
Yeah, that is pretty much the story.
Yeah, we start off with, like you were saying, some really good music. And I was like, this is definitely the same person that writes the theme songs to like Full House and like Family Ties. Like, and then one of the children actually played Rusty on Full House, which I know you don't know who that is, stuff. Rusty was like, I think it was, whatchamacallit, the dad's character. I forget his name now on Full House. Anyways, Danny, his like girlfriend's like bad kid. And they're like, Rusty. And he's one of the kids. And I was like, small world.
Wow. He was riding high. He was riding high in 1992.
He had like 0 lines. Like, he might have had 1 in that movie, but he was in it.
And there's only 4 kids, so that's a big deal.
So they're playing like heavy duty soccer, and Betty is like coaching. She's going hard.
She's got the visor.
She's got the visor.
The substantial gold hoop earring, like a substantial earring.
Yeah.
And the nice jeans.
Yes. She's like, she's rocking those Jordak jeans. She's looking good for late 80s. And her husband like comes in. He's like, guess what, Bets? I did it. Like, I got a settlement. I get a 3.6 million. And so he gets like a fourth of that, which he's like, we made it. And I was like, dude, you did. Like, even now, that's serious money.
Well, yeah. So, okay. It's like he pulls up in a car that's like, okay, we know he's going to have a midlife crisis. I don't even know what it was, but the car is like, okay, this is coming. And he missed the big goal. So he comes right after the big goal. So it's like, this is like Betty's doing all the work. He's coming for the reward. And yes, he gets 900,000, and now it's 900,000 in San Diego. So now that would be 2.6 million. So I thought it was interesting. It's like they don't have chemistry at all from the very beginning. Like, she is giving me maybe like lesbian vibes, and he's giving me asexual vibes. Like, he is asexual to me.
So yeah, there's no chemistry. They're like just roommates, like getting by. They should have just been roommates. Maybe they would have done better. I don't know.
Yeah, they're very like business partner like, but it's like, hey, they made it. And I mean, I know you have thoughts on this house because this house is pure money. It's that classic 90s getup that we love so much. It's just dripping in opulence.
Yeah, like all the gold brass, like fixtures and lamps and things like that. And yeah, she's getting ready for like a night out with her husband at like some like, I don't know, dinner event or something for work. Maybe it's charity. I didn't really catch that. All I could do was catch her jacket. That was swanky. It was like gold with like seashell emblems like going across her like entire like top. And I was like, those are the biggest seashell appliques I've ever seen. Those are amazing.
My grandma like had that jacket. I have to say, like, this wardrobe and her hair is like a lot like how my grandma's was, like almost to a T.
That's really true. I never thought about that. It does look like your grandma.
Like,
Yeah. It was.
so we'll get more into their history, but I did think it was interesting. I mean, the movie's only an hour and a half, but like she does skim through like the voiceover, and it's like, it's pretty substantial. Like she's like, you know, he was in these schools. I like sold crap and worked and like raised the kids. And like, it's literally like 2 lines of like tons and tons and tons of work over like years and years and years. So that was just kind of like glossed over. And I was like, gotcha.
And it was a really important part because honestly, I kind of have a theory on Betty, and maybe this is like, I mean, obviously something cracked upstairs, like for you to go and like murder people, like you're not of right mind. However, she's in her early 40s, okay? So she's technically probably starting to enter perimenopause, and that is like a subject that like only now I feel like people are really understanding how much it affects your hormones and your like how irritated you can get, how irrational you can get. It's like going through puberty twice. I mean, it's just like, but then you have all of the responsibilities of like your family, your job, like, you know, all these different things. You can't be like, I almost wonder if she had gotten like medication or something to help with some of the like mood swings, she'd be in the same boat. I mean, she's through menopause now, so she doesn't regret it. So obviously that's not the case, but would it have helped? I'm just saying.
Completely agree. I mean, most of my notes are like about that and not the movie, but I did
know.
go through the whole movie.
Yes. Don't you feel like, because we're her age when she like murdered him, basically. I was kind of like, Betty, I get it. Like, you're not appreciated. You put all your dreams aside to like help him achieve his. You run the house, you run the kids, and he like says things that are just so unappreciative of her that I was like, I kind of get it. I kind of do.
Yeah, I told you I have a lot of Betty in me. Basically, they're getting ready. Okay, first of all, Liz, I thought this was like a costume party. Okay, so I was like, okay, they're going to this costume party. And she's like, we've arrived. And so the kids are like, oh my God, you guys look amazing, you know, and they're like on the staircase, classic. Yeah. And then they get to the gala and he is the only one in a cape and top hat. And I'm like, I would not spend money on that. Like, I thought this was a costume party. What is he doing?
What is that? Is he a magician? Does he have a show after? Like, I don't get it. What was the thing with the cape? But they included that. So it must have been important.
That. Well, it makes me wonder if he was like a show off, you know, like in real life, like if he was like flashy and like a show off, because like literally nobody else is wearing a cape and a top hat.
You went to like a nice business dinner and your husband was the only one wearing a cape and like, wouldn't you be like, that's not my husband?
Yeah, I'd be like, what are you doing? I mean, especially if it was my husband. So it's just like odd. But it's like one of those classic like sweeping balls, you know, where they're like dancing. Like, it's like they don't do things like that anymore. I mean, they do, but not like from a corporate perspective.
Like, I remember my grandma, they used to like rent out Six Flags, like just for her company. And like we would have like full run of Six Flags. Like, companies don't do anything. It's like they give you like a picnic blanket and they're like, you're welcome.
Well, I've been to like big parties, but it's always like, let's have fun. Like, it's never like formal. And
True.
It's like most people don't want it to be, but I do. So I'm just like jealous of this gala that they went to.
To wear a gown. Let's just face it. Maybe you could wear a gown at Six Flags and then you'll stand out like him.
You know, it wouldn't be the first time. So they get there and it's like, oh my gosh, Betty, you look beautiful.
He comes in. Her husband comes in and he's just like, business is going great. Look at my cape. And they're like, you look ravishing. And then he's like, I want to celebrate this achievement with my wife and with my best friends by having a vacation in Paris this Thursday. Betty's like, I'm busy.
Manicure day.
And so they laugh like, oh, like she's joking. And she plays it off as a joke, but that's kind of the first time where you can just tell she's like, what the freak? Like, you didn't ask me. You just assumed I'm free. Like, I mean, okay, if I got surprised with a trip to Paris, I wouldn't care. I'd be very excited. But I've never gone to Paris, so there's a big difference there. However, it would be kind of like when you're running the show at home and you're thinking about, it's kind of like, I have a routine. Like I kind of got her. I was like, I have a routine here. Like I like spontaneity, but like, wouldn't you discuss that? And why would you announce that with your friends present? Like, wouldn't you first present it to your spouse and say, hey, I want to do this for us. And is it okay if I include so-and-so? Like, that's kind of a big purchase.
It's a huge purchase. It's clearly like he's killing two birds with one stone. Like he's getting business done and he's like spending time with her because he has to or whatever. And honestly, it's like I was surprised, but I wasn't surprised by his lack of consideration for her. I was surprised by like them being like, sure, we don't have any plans. Let's leave in a week. Like he just like.
That's true. That's
like
very true.
That nobody has anything going on. Yeah, it was weird. So they skip Paris because obviously nobody has the budget to film in Paris. So then we're in his like all, dark wood classic office. And he's like a hard-nosed lawyer. Like he is serious. Like he doesn't play around. He's big time. So his coworker's like, oh, I'm like separating from my wife. And that's like the first, like, uh-oh, like they... are setting us up for this. And, Mike's like, oh, I thought you guys were going to pull through. And the friend's like, nope. So I'm moving out. So then we go to Boy Scouts, right? At the house.
Yeah. Yes, he's supposed to. So Betty is allowing like the troop to meet at their like house because they have a huge yard and whatever. Dad, someone's on the phone for you. Or she brings him the phone. And he's like, oh, Betty, can you take over for like 15 minutes? Like, I'll be right back. I got to take this. And she's just like, all right, So then, like, in true Betty style, she rocks it. Like, she's, like, playing with them. She's got s'mores going. Like, hours have passed, and you know it because now it's nighttime. And she's telling, like, scary stories to the boys. And then now we see the boys getting picked up by their parents.
Well, yeah, it's a good example of, like, tickers. Like, I know we've talked about tickers before. And, like, it's the whole, like, all the things you do that like nobody cares about and like nobody talks about. And he just like assumes she's going to do it because she always does it. And he's like giggling on the phone. So she locks him out of the bedroom.
Oh, yeah. That was great. She's like, oh, and then I also wrote like at some point he like grills a steak and he like puts ketchup on it. And I'm like, what? Like, I mean, I'm not one for like dipping my steak, like unless it's like butter, like I'm not one for that. But like I am fine with people using like steak sauce because like some people really like that. And that's what it was made for. But friggin' ketchup? Are you joking me? Like, this isn't a diner with a side of eggs. Get some manners. I think he's a boy. He wears a cape. He dips everything in ketchup. I think he's like a little boy. I don't know.
He's like a wasp. Yeah. I mean, he's just like he just drips with inconsideration and like, it's gross. And obviously he does it all the time because
the daughter, like she locks him out and the daughter is like already expecting it. Like she has an extra pillow and blanket ready for him. She's like, here, Dad, like I know you're going to go sleep on the couch again. So this isn't like the first time Betty and Dan have like argued, like he must sleep on the couch quite frequently. So that's, there's already like, it's not just like the marriage just started to dismantle. Like it must be years of like this starting to chisel away at like, the intimacy and just everything between them.
Well, and the daughter's played by Kelly Williams. I don't know if you know her from anything, but she was in The Practice forever, and I really liked her.
The oldest daughter?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know her. I just like the youngest daughter's bouffant. Like she had like a Victorian haircut. Like, did you notice that?
She really did. And she was in a bunch of stuff too.
She was. Yeah. Nothing like major, but like I felt like she was in a lot of made for TV movies and like off brand, I don't know how else to put it, like things where you're like, I know your face, but like I can't place who you are. Like she's one of those.
So her name is Jandy Swanson, and she was in like Pumpkinhead and like a lot of like I guess news movies. And
she's familiar, but I was like, you're never like a main person. Like you wouldn't be like, oh, I know her. Yeah.
Right. Like I had never heard her name before just now. Okay. Then Betty picks him up from the airport in a severe leather jacket. That jacket was like really intense. And I was like, oof. And again, they're like business partners.
Yeah, because she's just like, hey, the house has foundation issues, which like, oh, that's pretty bad. And he's just like, oh, really? And she's like, don't worry. I already have properties like lined up for us to go live in while it's getting fixed. Like she's done everything. She's packed it. And he's just like, well, is it going to be done? And she says something like, my wrath and your reputation, we're unstoppable. And I was like, dang, okay.
I'm like, someone's going to die. So then he says she's one of a kind because she picked up a corsage for the St. Patty's Day party. But I'm like, do you need a corsage to go to one of those? Like, I've never heard of that in my life.
I'm surprised it's not a Lego set. Like, I think he's 13. I really do. I think he's not real. Like, it's a figment of her imagination because this guy is just such a joke. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of agree. And so, they go to this party. It's like a bunch of suits and, receptionists. And they're like
St. Patrick's Day. Do they celebrate everything? Yeah. Do they celebrate everything, though? Like, how, random is that?
Yes. And so then this is the first time we meet Linda.
I put Princess Diana look like, not in real life, the real Linda, but like the one that they had play. Like she definitely could have played Princess Diana for sure.
Agreed. If the crown was going on back then, even though it was before the Princess Diana time.
But I think that she actually has a small role in Death Becomes Her. I didn't look her up, but she's the one that's like, no, I already gave you a collagen fill, like to Meryl Streep. And I was like, that's the girl. Where do I know her from? I'm positive that's the same actress.
Nice catch.
Thank you. And if you don't know, thank you. And if you don't know Death Becomes Her, then why are you listening to us? Because that is like, we'll explain why we pick these movies.
Exactly. Like pause this and go watch it and then come back and listen to this
again.
Yeah. Okay. So we meet Linda and then the, coworker and Dan are talking and Dan's like, oh, she's hot basically. And is Betty eating a carnation when she's listening to this? She's eating some kind of decorative plant. So she hears this and you feel the hurt. You feel the hurt because the guy's like, so Dan does care about women. And he's like, women like that? Yeah. And
did I blank out during this scene? This is the best scene of the movie.
Well, his coworker, is basically like, oh, you do care about women because he probably never talks about his wife because all he does is work. And he's like, oh yeah, a woman like that? Like, of course, And so Betty hears this and she's like really hurt. Like you could see the hurt in her face.
I did not watch any of this scene. This is such a pivotal scene. I have to go back. I don't know where I am, but that's so good. I'm so glad you talked about this.
If you want to pause it and go watch it and come back, I'll be here. But so then the coworker that moved out walks in with his younger girlfriend. And I have never seen... Okay, the way they enter that party, I've never seen anyone enter a party. She's holding his tie, she's wiping his mouth. I'm like, okay, I get it. You guys are banging. But it was so over the top, dripping in sex. I was like, whoa, this is a lot. This is a lot, you guys.
And they call that's Kevin's new trophy wife or trophy girl or whatever. And I was like, they both could do better. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So then that night, Betty's watching him sleep and she's already like, I can shoot him right now. I can totally shoot him right now, but I won't. Then we get to the ski chalet and that is classic. It's a classic ski lodge, that fireplace. Be still my heart. Be still my heart. And it is just gorgeous beauty with all of their ski equipment. And they are fighting. She says she's the hired hand. And he says, well, it pays well enough. And I'm like, damn.
I know. Yeah, they are really digging at each other. It's bad. He's so arrogant and stupid. And she's just a maniac. So when you put those two together, it's just it's bad news bears. He needed to be I love you and I appreciate you and you're amazing. And she needs to calm down and take some medication. And I think it could have worked out, but they are oil and water. It's just such a bad combination. This was just coming. You can feel it.
It's so coming. And she's like, you're lending your brother money. She's pissed about that. And the brother's on the trip. And the brother's like, I mean, she said she wanted to divorce you since your wedding day. I mean, and it's like a shame. Her hair is like cottony feathers. Like her hair is just like really gentle and delicate. And it's like they're packing up the big family van. It's seriously like Home Alone, but like none of the fun. Like it's like none of the fun of Home Alone, but all of the clothes and all of the people. Like
Yeah.
that's how it feels.
This is true.
Joyless, you know?
It's joyless. Yeah.
So then, oh my gosh, girl, you know how I feel about this. They're back home and he's leaving for work and he tells the moving guys she's the boss. And I was like, I was so triggered. I cannot stand like being home with anybody doing work in the house or anything like that. Like when I have to give all the direction, I feel like I'm going to lose it.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt.
However, Betty is very controlling. So in this situation, she may have liked it. It just would have been nicer if he would have said, Betty, you're doing such a great job. Thanks for taking care of this. If you have any questions, please ask my wife. Like there's no, like he doesn't understand how to like appreciate her or any woman for that matter. And then instead he just says stupid comments like, she's the boss, see you later.
Right.
Like, you know, but she is the boss and she does a good job. I mean, she color coordinated it. She knew what went on top. Like, I was like, I am Betty. Like, that would be me. Like, I'd be like, okay, this goes here, that goes there. Don't touch this, put that there. And I like having that kind of control. So she might have liked it, but he's just so stupid and doesn't say it in the right way. So it's just these constant digs at each other. There's no appreciation between the two of them.
She is doing all this because she thinks they have a common goal,
which is to have a big life.
Right. That's why she's doing it. Like, that's the only reason she's not like already killing him.
I mean, truly, like, that is, she wants a very like lavish, like money filled life. And she figures if I do what I'm doing, it's like, this is her job. You know, I do my part, you do your part, and we share in it together. But it's just like a business relationship. Because even when he comes home, like the house that they're renting is like completely put together. I mean, even he was like, whoa, Betty, like, how did you do this? Like, you're a miracle worker. And she's like, you think this is good? You should check out the veal roast in the oven. And I was like, so she is really, she's not like sitting on her butt being like, well, you know, he makes the money and I don't really care. She's doing a lot of things. Like, she's a hard worker. I mean, she is.
She's very high functioning too. And so he hires the secretary and he's already attracted to her, which is like, yikes. Like, come on, Dan. Like, you already want her, so you shouldn't hire her. Like, that's not a good idea, you know? So then Betty's shopping and she runs into Susan, who the coworker Kevin filed for divorce from. And Susan's glad. Like, she's like, yeah, like, I'm happy. I'm living my best life. Like, it was a good thing, you know?
But they're like, I wrote Susan's hair. What happened? It's like one of those like,
Susan?
She had like a perm, but then she cut it like below the ear, which I had that haircut in second grade. So maybe that was like a look, but like Susan, we both don't have the bone structure for that. So like, it just looked awful. It was like a poodle. Like, I was like, Susan's hair. Like, I had to write that in my notes. Like, we need to take a moment. That was a bad choice.
But she's real happy.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
She's just like, it's time. She's, you know, it's time to move on. And, you know, they're just like, Betty and her friend are like, oh my gosh, like, you know, that would be hard.
Right. Okay, wait. So Dan was 45, Linda was 28. So, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it's only like 17 years. I mean, it's not like 30.
Yeah. I thought they tried to make her in the movie seem like she was like 20, but I guess not.
Well, that was when they passed. So I don't know when he actually met her, but they're like 17 years apart. So then the women are like, all men hire airheads at some point. And stuff like that like drives me crazy because it's like, you know what? Like, you were a young woman once and this is like the guy's fault. Like, even if a young woman is like going after your husband, if she's single and he's married, like, it's up to him to be like, look, I'm married. Like, I don't want to do this. Or, you know, like, I do want to do this. So I need to talk to my wife and let her know that maybe we need to, like, you know, change our situation. But constantly being like, younger women are like stupid or slutty or airheads just like really bothers me.
Or like you have to like hire like a friggin' like, gargoyle in order for a man to be productive. Like, I mean, come on. Like there are men out there that can appreciate, I mean, we all have eyes, right? Like you can think someone is beautiful. You can think someone is handsome. It doesn't mean you have to bone them. Like, it's like, you can just be like, my coworker is attractive. Like, but that's the thing. His marriage isn't really a marriage. So he is kind of like in this partnership, and he's like, he's not emotionally fulfilled. I'm sure he's not physically fulfilled. And I'm not blaming Betty. Like, he shouldn't touch another woman when they're married. Like, he should be going home and being like, honey, I'm having these feelings. Like, should we get counseling, or like, is this not a good situation for us? But like, yeah, the whole like, well, she's pretty, of course, and blah, blah. It's like, you can be pretty and smart and someone doesn't have to touch you. Like, she never came on to him. Like, he came on to her.
Right. So I think that is just like such a mistake that like so many women make, and it just like drags all women down. Like, that attitude is just like not conducive to like supporting women. So then, did you notice the shiny white tile countertops? When you put tile on a countertop with grout, I like lose my mind.
But I will say, like, I do too. The Home Alone house, they had green tile like that. And I told John, my husband, I was like, dude, if we got that house, I would not have changed anything. Like, I actually secretly love it. Like, I really do.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. That house brings me immense joy. So then, did you see Betty's license plate is load 'em up?
Really? Man, you're catching everything good. I must have been asleep. I don't know.
I'm obsessed.
That's awesome.
Okay, so, oh my God.
Dan's like birthday, and she's like, all right, I have everything done. I'm going to go to the office and surprise him with champagne so we can like watch the sunrise together. Which, okay, kudos to her. That's actually very romantic and very like considerate. Like, I mean, that's very romantic. I would be happy with that. And she gets to the office, and they're just like, they don't even know who she is, which tells you
they're like,
she
so
never
rude.
Visit. Yeah. They're like, who are you? What do you want? She's like, hello, I'm Mrs. Broderick. And they're like, oh, well, he's out to lunch with her. It's like, her. And they're like, yeah, his new assistant, Linda. And so she like,
yeah, like he doesn't even have a picture of her on his desk.
They don't even know what she looks like, and she goes to work functions. So that tells you right there, like, this is a huge step for Betty. I feel like she was trying here to like maybe bring some more romance into the marriage, and she like opens the door, and like friggin' Linda has like been at Party City. Like, there's balloons. It looks like they just had sex on the desk. Like, everything is like thrown. There's like confetti, and I think there's already champagne like open.
They were popping bottles already. Like, there's like 2 or 3 bottles.
Yeah, so they're like wasted and going to lunch, quote unquote. And so she's like waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally, you can tell by like 11, 12 a.m., it's like they're not even back. So this lunch is taking 12 hours. So she goes home, and then like he just rolls up. Like, it's a normal work day to be out until midnight.
Yeah, I think she says a 7-hour lunch with a 19-year-old whore. So
that's why I thought she was 19. I was like, oh.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, maybe she was, or maybe just Betty thinks every woman is 19. She's not her age. I don't know.
This is the best.
I would have no self-control. I would have no self-control.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when okay, so she takes, like, let's just say what she does. She takes all of his pants, which is like ingenious, and throws them on the front lawn, and like in a whisper is like, liar, liar, pants on fire, and then throws the match. I was like, that is amazing. Like, that is, I don't want to say I would ever do that, but I don't know. I mean, like,
it gave you something to think about.
I like, if John was cheating on me like that, I think I might do that. I really do. Is that crazy?
No, I know I would have no self-control. And I don't mean like, and this is where all of this always comes in, because it's like, a big part of this is that she's clearly mentally ill. And then another big part of this is that she has like no interests of her own. And like she has no identity that isn't tied to him. So I do have those things, but still, I would not have very good self-control at this point. I would be immensely pissed off.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do it on the front lawn because I would be scared of what my neighbors would think of me, but I might throw it in a friggin' fire pit in my yard. I'm not even kidding. Like, I would be just over the top angry. I don't even know.
I would be beyond. Plus, like, there were no cell phones back then either. So that's the thing. Like, she could have, if she had a cell phone, just sent like 20 rage texts and then she could have felt better. But she didn't have that option.
Could you imagine Betty with a cell phone? Oh my gosh.
Oh no. So then his brother's like, I'm really worried about this clothes burning thing. It's like, yeah. And then Dan's like, that's just how she is. He's like, she's just like that. It's like, well, that's true, but that's not good, Dan. So then they're on vacation and he's like talking to Linda the whole time, like at the bar phone by the pool.
Oh gosh.
I
was like, a party line at the pool. Like, this is so great.
Mm-hmm. And it takes 7 weeks to find cars back then. Like, they had to, like, I guess call every dealership in the phone book because there was no internet.
True. I remember stuff like that. Like, do you remember trying to find like movies playing? Like, you'd have to like call up and find out the times. Like, everything was so different without the internet that I don't even think about it. But yeah, that's how it was. You would have to call places and be like, is so-and-so in stock? Like,
right. So that's like Linda's full-time job, I guess. So then she like finds the car and she's like, you have to go pick it up in Malibu. And he's like, you're coming with me, which is like a really good idea. So they have this like hot music playing in the car. And it's just like, what is he thinking? Like, again, he knows how Betty is. Like, why is he doing this?
I really don't know. It's just one of those things where I think he thinks like, as long as I give her money, I can have this like maybe separate life. Like, maybe this is something that he feels like he can almost pay her off. Like, I have no idea.
Yeah, I was just like, Dan, I mean, I'm sorry, but you are definitely playing with fire. So then
he like rolls up with the new car. Like, he finally goes home with it. And Betty like sees it and she's just like, well, maybe this car will help you feel better. And he's like, what do you mean by that? And she's like, well, obviously you're having like a midlife crisis. Like, you know, you're banging a whore and you're wanting to do this. So maybe this will make you feel better. And he's just like, okay.
And that was an interesting part because it's like she is showing like she's not in denial about his feelings, not just like what he does. It's like she knows he's not happy. Like, she knows he's not feeling great, but it's like from her perspective, she's like, I literally do absolutely everything. Like, I can't do anything else. And he's disconnected.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah. And also how transactional the relationship is. It's like, I'm fine with you buying things if it means that you're gonna like, you know, do your part. Like, don't screw me out of this. Like, you can do whatever you want, but like, don't screw me out of what is owed to me. And I think that's Betty's whole thing. But
I do too.
I love the part where they're like in the office and like one of his like old secretaries, quote unquote old, like confronts him. That's Peggy from the 70s show.
It is. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, like it's so weird to see her without like that voice and like her hair and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, who are you?
You're like, Betty's not a caricature. Or Peggy's not a caricature. She's like a person, you know, that takes roles. Yeah. It was like weird. It was jarring.
It was. And so her whole thing is she's just like, dude, she says to him, she's like, you need to think about how you treat people, like people. And Dan's just like flabbergasted. Like, he's like, what do you mean? Because she feels slighted because she's like, you know, this new girl comes in and she's got her own office. And like, I've worked for you for a long time and like, I'm not getting these perks. So like, what the heck? And he's just like, Linda has a special job and like, she's helping me find my cars and, you know, she presses my cape. Like, she deserves it. And it's like, no, dude, you're showing favoritism because you're having an affair. Like, everybody can see it. That's just
Well,
the truth.
she goes to him in a very reasonable way and voices her
Yeah.
concern. And he's basically like, F off. So it's just like,
Right. Yeah.
he's not even meeting her halfway.
No, he just wants to defend he's like defending his and just kind of, being like, this is fine. I'm not doing anything wrong. She deserves it because she's got a huge pivotal like role in all of this. And it's like, no, that's not how it goes.
No. So it's like everybody's noticing how he's behaving. So, okay, my favorite scene is Christmas. My favorite scene in the whole movie is Christmas. I mean, the decor is on point. And, again, you have to remember there was no online shopping. So every single gift they had to like go out and buy and wrap. And Betty obviously does all of it. And it's just like, all the kids are like tearing open their stuff. Like they don't care about anything else. And
Much accurate.
it's very accurate. And so then, yeah, Dan gives her the ring box and she's surprised at getting that box. And there's a twinkle. Like she's like, you know what? Like
It's gonna be
is
okay.
such an asshole 364 days a year. But today he gonna turn it all around and I'm gonna forgive him for everything and I'm gonna forget everything and we're gonna move on. And she opens the box and it is not a replica, but very similar to the Princess Diana engagement ring. Being a sapphire with, diamonds around it.
Yeah.
And she is completely deflated. And he is like, I know it's not the one you wanted, but I like this one better.
Oh my gosh. Like she should have shot him right there. Like that should have been the time. And we all would have been like, we get it, buddy.
Yeah. And Betty's like, you knew what I wanted. Why would you do that? And she's like, it's not what I wanted. So it's a piece of crap. And I was like, oh my Betty. Like I seriously was like, you do not have to get her that. But if you are going to get her that, why wouldn't you just get her what she wants?
Yes. And okay, there's a difference between like someone putting thought and being like, this ring looks more like something that I feel like my wife is what she represents. And like, how sometimes like people will give you a gift and maybe it's not like exactly what you wanted, but they put a lot of thought behind it. So it's like the thought takes over like what it actually is. So he could have just said something like, this ring is so beautiful, just like you, or something like that I just had to get you this one. Instead, he basically tells her that her opinion is less than his and he knows better. And that drives me nuts because it's just like, don't tell me what I want. And if I specifically ask for something, unless you're doing this from like an advantage of like, from a point of view, like this is what it makes me feel and this is how I appreciate you. It's just like, no, this one's better because I like it more. That's just, I don't know. That's so arrogant. I don't even know where to begin.
It's so bad. And then he calls her a spoiled brat in front of the kids.
Like, how did she not lose it right there? Like, how did she not like just strangle him?
I don't know, because we all know how she is. So I was like floored. And the daughter's like, please stop fighting, And then he grabs Betty's wrist. And he's like, it's a beautiful ring, And it's like, that's not going to help, buddy. Like, I'm telling you right now, like, if you're going to get physical with her, this is going to escalate. And so he's just like all about control. And he feels like he can talk her into liking this ring that she didn't want. And, again, but in the movie, I mean, she comes across as like completely insane. But it's not that insane. Like, to peel it back. So that was their Christmas. And then she wears like a snazzy royal purple suit and goes downtown and meets Dan for lunch.
Yeah.
In like the red banquette.
Yeah. She kind of like did herself up. Like she is after all of this, like she's still kind of trying. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Cause I think she's just like, desensitized in a way. Like, I think he's predictable in terms of being like thoughtless and careless. And I think she is just like, that's how he is. And if he just stays this thoughtless and careless, I'll be fine forever. But it's like he's about to kick it up a notch, you know? So they meet for lunch and he's just like, I'm moving out.
Yeah.
And I needed to do this in public.
Which tells you that he is not, I wouldn't say like he's afraid of her, but he definitely is starting to be more like she's a little unhinged more than I can do this at home. Because if you're doing it in a public place, there's a reason for it. Like you must already know she's like kind of baddie. So, because otherwise you would do it at home.
Right.
Why would you do it in public?
Like, she like burned your clothes and it's like, yeah, he does not feel safe at home.
Right.
So she's like, I gave you your life. You owe me.
Because she did. She was like a teacher while he was in like law school. She took care of like the family, you know, when they needed money, she worked and was a mom. Like there's a lot to Betty's backstory that they don't even really like talk that much about in the movie. It would have been kind of nice to see like a little synopsis of like those scenes so that people could understand like where she was coming from. I think like she is off her rocker, don't get me wrong, but I also feel like someone, unless they're like, I just think sometimes people don't always just end up there. Like if she was crazy, like crazy from the start, she wouldn't have waited 16 years to like kill him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and she would not have like raised the kids how she did, and she would not have put together the homes like she did. Like, yeah, I mean, but again, I mean, it's like the 90s, so I think it's the whole like tough on crime thing, and it's like the whole like women are insane thing. And it's a bummer. Like, I would like to see this remade with her backstory because it's not really fair to not give like any perspective.
Right. Like you
You
can't
know.
applaud what she did. Like she did something
No.
wrong. She deserves to be in jail. And obviously like she's not remorseful at all. And you know, so there's just signs there that like maybe she shouldn't be out in like society. But like it's not just like she woke up one day and was like, I'm going to kill my husband and ruin my children's lives. Like it's not like she got there because of other things. And I just think that should be pointed out, you know? I don't know.
Well, yeah. And like any other job, I mean, so many people have jobs and they like phone it in, you know, and there's a lot of people that like stay home and like phone it in. And she did not. Like she went above and beyond every single day. And so for him to just be like not even mentioning it ever, it's pretty bad. And so basically it's like he moves into the house that's still under construction.
Yeah, the house with a new foundation. He's just like, I'm going home to like that. Yeah.
And then Betty starts leaving the kids there one by one. Like she leaves them even when he's not home.
Yeah. Now this is the part where I start to turn on Betty and I'm like, okay, your children are innocent in all of this. You cannot use them in your pawns of manipulation. And this is where she starts to go south for me, where I'm like, yeah, no, you've gone too far. Like the kids are innocent. They shouldn't be dragged into your business. And she uses them. She drops them off one by one because she wants them to see how hard it is to be like a single parent, essentially, and take care of everything and have a job. But it completely backfires because the dad's like, okay, well, if you're here, like I'm going to be a parent and we're going to like do this together. And so the kids start kind of like pitching in. Betty probably did everything for everyone. Like she probably folded all their clothes, put them all away, made sure everything was good. And the dad's like, I don't got time for that. So you're going to have to learn how to cook and clean and pitch in. But the kids were like, okay. Like, it's not like they were like, no. Like they were just like, that's fine. And that's Betty's fault. I mean, she's a control freak.
Yeah. That's a good point you made because it's like, it's not enough to just have it done. It's like, it has to be her way. So yeah, that's a really good point. And for some reason, like, I don't know, like in She-Devil, when Roseanne drops off the kids, like, I don't have a problem with that. But like,
because her kids were the worst. Like
her kids were the worst.
Were awful. Like I would ditch them too. I was like,
and like that house had a staff, you know, they weren't like alone.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Another Meryl Streep movie. Like if you haven't seen She-Devil, you really need to pause and watch that and then come back and listen because that movie, I wish that wasn't made for TV. That's such a good movie.
I mean, that podcast would be like 6 hours. I cannot get enough of that movie. And anytime you need a pick-me-up, watch it. It will change your mood. So good. So then Betty finds an oceanfront property, which I can't even imagine what that would be today. I mean, like, it is insane. It's like on the water. And she's like, Dan likes status, so I'm getting this. And he does, but she's not getting him back. Oh,
Yeah, so she's starting to do things that she thinks will be appealing to him and want her back. Like if I have this like really nice ocean, view property, like he'll come back eventually. This is just like a phase, like this is temporary. But he's like, no, I'm much happier without you, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, like he's like, I'm going to have this romantic dinner on the deck with Linda. And then he's like, thanks for the advice. And she's like, I didn't give you any advice. I just listened. And I'm like, did he listen? Like, what does he not get? So then I guess you're supposed to be like, oh, like Betty, just doesn't listen to Dan, like Dan just doesn't get support in that way. And it's like, get out of here. Like I have no patience for that because Dan does not show her any care or love at all.
Oh, not at all. And I wrote in my notes, I was like, they make the 40s look bad. Like they just make like being in your 40s just look like the worst time of your life. Like everyone looks gross. Like everyone is gross. Like nobody's happy. And I was like, I'm in my 40s. I can tell you that is not how I feel, but I wasn't in my 40s in the 90s. So what do I know?
You weren't. And also you didn't have like your first kid at 19 or 20. These people have been like working themselves to the bone for like 2 decades at this point. And like they're effing tired, and so then Betty's like, I worked so hard and now this is like the time to enjoy this, which is like, yeah, that's the whole thing. It's not that she wanted a family. Like she still has like her kids. It's like she wanted this idea of what she thought like a successful family was.
She's very much into material things. Like that is more important to her. At this point now, it's more important to her than her family. Like she just wants status. She wants wealth. She wants what she feels she is quote unquote owed. And, that's where I start to be like, okay, now you're gone. Because for me, like whether or not I'm in the marriage or not, my kids, there's no way. Like I'd be like, I don't care. You can take away everything, but you're not taking away my kids. Like that's.
Well, yeah. And also like, I think that she is just looking for some kind of appreciation. And it's like her kids don't give that to her either because they don't know to, because she didn't teach them to do that. Like she has just been working and working and working, like you said, and doing everything for everyone, and nobody cares. Like everyone's completely desensitized. So
yeah, they expect it. It's just kind of like, that's just mom. Like this is what mom does,
So she goes to his house. She sees the Betty Crocker cake that Linda made for the kids.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That pitiful cake. And she loses it. She's just like, what? And they're just kind of like, Mom, what are you doing here? And again, what is she doing there? I guess she still has a key to the house. I guess at this point, he doesn't feel like she shouldn't have a key to the house. It's probably like emergencies or whatever, but she's just like, the cake? And she like loses it because she's like, my kids are eating someone else's cake. And like, my husband. And so she like goes and like trashes his bedroom with like cake. And like, Steph already knows this, but when I bought my house, like if you don't know what a pantry moth is, God bless you, because they're horrible. They're like little moths that like live in grains and they're really hard to get rid of. Anywho, that's all I could think of. It was horrible. I don't wish it upon my worst enemy. They are one of the worst pests that you wouldn't even think of unless you've had them. But anyways, I was like, dude, she's leaving flour and grains and all these things in their house. Like they're going to get pantry moths. Like this is so awful, but she smears frosting everywhere and like
it's
cake
like
all over his clothes. Yeah. Like it's just a mess. And I was like, dang, how many layers was this cake? Cause that's a lot of cake everywhere. Like it was a big cake.
Yeah, it was bad. It was like really, really bad. And it was the kind of thing too, like it's like that frosting that's like mostly vegetable oil. So like you can't just like wipe that up. It's like gonna be really smeared.
That is staining those silk ties. That is staining that like unfinished wood. Like this is bad news. Like it's bad.
Yeah. So then he comes home. He has a red rose in his lapel. And I don't know why, but he does. And they're like, oh, mom was here, like, and he's like, huh? And it's like his room is trash. She scratched his face out of the picture. She
Oh,
threw his
yeah.
clothes.
Yeah. Oh, I love the picture one. I was like, if I was like the prop maker, I would have stole that and kept it. But this is the best line of the movie, or for me, it was Rusty is like, Dad, where's Yugoslavia?
That's just like so classic. It's like
It's so
kids,
90s. Yeah.
it is so classic, and kids just like don't care what's going on, like, ever.
Yeah.
They just
Like,
care about
whatever.
like what they need. Okay, so then finally she gets the divorce papers.
Yeah. She gets
and
served.
She gets served. And like she's like kind of shocked. And I'm like, what? Like, come on. Like, he's doing this. Like, what? Like, she like gasps.
She's oblivious to everything. She just thinks that everything she's doing is justified and that there's no consequences to her actions because she's right. Like, that's where her mindset is now. Everything she's doing is justified. It's correct. He should just see the error of his ways. Like, trashing his room is going to make him be like, I love Betty. Like, I think that's what she literally thinks. Like, I can't live without her. Who's going to clean this up? Not me. Like, I need Betty. I don't know. But yeah.
I know. It's interesting because it's like very like but it makes sense because it's probably a part of her mind that's just like not developed. Because it's like when I was younger, it's like, yeah, I would have really bad behavior in hopes of like a positive outcome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like that obviously doesn't work. And like then you learn that when you're older. And she just like doesn't. So
because she thinks she's right. She thinks she's
Yeah.
so justified that everybody in the world is going to be like, Dan was the worst. So how can you not understand where I'm coming from? Like, even Dan should understand where I'm coming from.
how
Lost her
can
mind.
he not
Yeah.
see he's the worst, even though he literally sees nothing about anyone or anything? So she flips, she goes to the house, she straight up breaks in.
Yeah, she breaks in. So at this point, they must have changed the locks or something because she like breaks in. I don't even know. Or she just doesn't care and breaks in. She just wants to break things. And then you knew they were rich because they had that tiny baby TV that only rich people had in their kitchens. Like that itty bitty, like 6-inch screen. She's like, I was like, gosh, those were heavy. So she had some force.
That TV is like for the news and Channel 11. Like that's an extra TV. And like she's like nope. And then she like destroys all the stuff that like she picked out and bought like
Yeah.
originally. Then she tags everything.
Yeah, she spray paints it. She finds spray paint and spray paints it. I like how she writes hi at the end with like a smiley.
Yeah, that was intense. And it had to be really fun to shoot that too. Like I would love to like act in that scene, It's like how they have those rooms now where you could just go smash stuff. Yeah. So, okay. So now it's like, okay, it's time for the restraining order. Like this is just too much, Betty. And you cannot come near us. So as this is going on, her earrings are getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Ooh.
And
Wow, I didn't even.
those these round,
Yes.
pearl earrings with like the gold halo. They're
Yeah.
getting big. And she doesn't care. She's like so rude to all the lawyers.
Yeah, everyone
It's
keeps
so funny.
bailing on her. They're just like, I can't work with you, Betty. I'm sorry. I can't work with you, Betty. And she's just like, nobody. It's because of Dan. They just want to support that pig because he's a man. And it's like, well, no, Betty, you're a lot. Like, they know they're going to lose. Like, people aren't going to take a losing case. And even if they know that you're guilty, you have to sell it. Like, otherwise, why would they work with you? I mean,
Right. It's delusional. And so then, the house, it's like they're going to get $325,000.
Did that not make you roll in your grave? It was like that
could
house was only $325,000.
I was like, I'm sad now. I'm going to go away now.
Even in today's market, or if you looked up what the rate is for $325,000 from then till now, I don't even think it was much over $1 million, which still seems very cheap for that house.
So she basically is like, I want $1 million for the house. Yeah. And he's like, it's not like, are you crazy? That's not going to happen.
It's tagged. There's frosting. The foundation is bad. I mean, it's not great.
No, it's not. And she's just like, dragging her feet because she doesn't want to sell it because she doesn't want him to be able to move on. So then it's like the holidays again. And it's like the dad's like fighting with the daughter because she wants to like go out on the holiday, which is like, I would too. And yeah, then he like kicks her out, which is like a great move.
He's like, if you don't like it, then go live with your mom. And she's like, fine, I will.
Right. And her date is like 13. Like, I'm like, what is going on? This kid can't drive. So then Betty's having dinner with Gary.
Yeah. Who is Gary? Is that like her lover?
I think so. And he looks like he's like a community theater teacher. Like he looks really artsy. And like, I was like, okay, Betty, like,
yeah,
get it, girl. But she doesn't care. Like, she's just like, oh, Gary's here, like, I don't ever want to be with anybody else.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't think she likes men. Like, I don't even think she does. Like, it's just like, yeah.
So then she leaves. This is the first like scorching message we hear on the answering machine for Dan. And it's like pretty vulgar. And then Betty has like a dinner party. And did you see her housekeeper in like a full uniform? I was like, oh my God. Like, Betty has a staff. Look out.
I mean, she says she gets like 16 after the divorce. I'm not trying to scooch ahead, but she gets like $16,000 a month in alimony, which I looked it up and it was something like comparable to like $47,000 a month. I mean, if you're getting $47,000 a month, you're doing all right. Like,
I'd be like, I'm not doing these dishes ever again. So she has a staff and then she leaves her own party to go talk to Dan. And everyone's like, are you sure? She's like, I just have to. And nobody will talk to her at the house. And, it's like, he's like, kids, get inside. And she's like, you're ignoring me. You won't talk to me. And he's like, no, I won't. Like, and I have a restraining order. So what are you doing?
Yeah. He's like, you have to get out of here. Like, this is not okay. Like, get out. And she's just like, what? Is this when she finds out that he sold the house from under her?
I think so. I don't have that in my notes though, but I think that is when, because it's like right after she wants the $1 million for it.
Yeah. So he like sells it because he's just like, you know what? I don't need her consent. I don't even know if her name is on the mortgage. I forget what it is, but basically he's like, oh no, he says in court, like she's trying to like throw this deal under the bus. Like she's manipulating it. So like, can I just act without her and sell it because we need to sell it? And they're like, yes, you can. He probably knows judges, whatever. I think that's kind of shysty for her not even to be there with representation, but okay, fine. So
I mean, I do too. But then again, I mean, if it's like this person is like not going to let you sell the house, I mean, and who knows how long this was going on. I mean, this movie is only 90 minutes and I was like, damn, this is taking forever.
True. Yeah, that is very true. He tried to work with her. He was like, Betty, like, come on, let's sell it. Like they were there together with the real estate agent. So I guess he did do his due diligence there, but she like finds out and she's just like, what? You sold our house without my consent? So he's like, you have to leave. You have a restraining order. Get out of here. She like gets into her like, okay, what is up with the truck? This sky blue truck she drives, like, it is not the car I would picture her in, like, at all. And like, would you picture her in a truck like that?
Well, first I was confused. Like, I'm like, is this a truck or is this like a station wagon? Or is this like, I guess it is a truck. Yes. I was very thrown off by that. Like, I thought she was going to like go to, the mechanic shop that she owns. Like, I was like, why does she have this car?
They kind of made her like butch. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just something that for Betty's character, I wouldn't expect that. Like, I would expect like a luxury sedan or like, like a Lexus or something, just very nice, but like maybe not as crazy as like his sports car, but like, something very, nice. And she just like gets in this like beat up sky blue like Ford and like rams the car like over and over again into the front window of the house. Like she is just like losing her mind. And so finally the dad's just like, what the actual freak? And like comes out, rips her out of the car and punches her in the gut.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, oh, like lands on the floor. She's like, and then the police come and they're like, get off of her. And she's just like, and he's like, that's my ex-wife. I have a restraining order against her. She's not supposed to be here. She just ran her truck into my house. And so they're like, you're under arrest. And she's like, let go of me, you Nazis. I love that. She's like, look at me, Kate. Look at me. These women have no power in America. And I was like, okay, Betty, like, why didn't you use your like strength for good?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
I know, because it's like women don't have power in America, but you could have run over your daughters in the foyer because you just drove through the front of the house.
Yes.
Like, come on.
It's
Come
like
on,
she
Betty.
is strong. She has like some pretty interesting ideas to get her message across, but she chooses it and just like with this obsession with like ruining her ex-husband's life now because she's not getting what she's owed. It's like you see the problems with like how women are treated. Why aren't you using that for good? It's just so upsetting.
It's so upsetting. So then she's like in jail and she's like, you know, doing this interview and she basically is like, he erased me. And it's like when the reporter sees that vulnerability, she gives her attention and Betty like eats that up. So then she starts doing like a ton of interviews and she's like loving it.
Yeah, she's loving the attention. She's loving people thinking that she's kind of like someone to side with. Like, I think she finally felt like, look at poor Betty. Like, she has been through a lot and like she's just a mom and all these bad things happened. And yeah, she's eating it up. And
yeah.
Yep.
So then it's Christmas time again. And okay, that basket she has of like the expensive wrapping paper just like made me so happy. Like the gingham and plaid and like just like all of it sticking out. And then like, you know, it's like she can't get the tree lights to work, which is very frustrating, like very overwhelming.
take the tree lights like from the family attic. Like, Betty, go buy some new ones.
I know,
They're
girl.
like tangled and like a
Yeah.
mess. And I'm like, Betty wouldn't leave her Christmas lights like that. Like, she's the type that went to like the Container Store and bought like every single part for like, you know, wrapping your Christmas lights, putting away your ornaments. Well, like the rest of us are like, just throw that crap in the box. That's next
Right.
year's problem.
Right. Absolutely. We're like, do we have any newspaper? No. Well, like, get it in
We'll buy
there.
new ones if we need to. Like, yeah, it's just bad.
It's so bad. So then she goes to Dan's house and she sees that like the kids do not hate Linda. Like they're all getting in the car to go somewhere and like they're like, you know, Linda's nice, you know, like we don't hate her guts. And so that really pisses her off. And then, I mean, she's like an expert in like getting into houses. Like
Yeah, she is. But to Dan and Linda's like fault, why don't you have freaking ADT? Why don't you have like a security system? Do you know what I mean? A Brinks. Like, there were things back then. Like, it wasn't as many as today, but like you could have had something going on. Like, I mean, he hires people for the wedding to give him like a bulletproof vest. So like, why wouldn't you have a security guard? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, that was weird that she can keep getting into that house. That was very weird. So I hate to say this, but I felt like his house was like a little bit overly decorated. And you know, I don't say that about Christmas ever, but I was like, this is like a little much, Dan, even for me.
Well, did you see his birthday party desk? I mean, she
Yeah.
really likes to decorate all.
Maybe she is just like a cheap no good. So then the oldest daughter sees Betty and she's like, oh my gosh, Mom.
You're not supposed
like,
to be
what are
here.
you-" And so then Betty's like opening presents like my 6-year-old does. Like she's just like completely gone. Like she's just opening presents and she's like, is this one for me? Is this one for me? He doesn't get to take Christmas. And the daughter's like, Mom, like, please. And so she slaps the daughter.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, she slaps the daughter, and the daughter's like, that Christmas present was for you from me, and she's just like, oh my gosh, Kate, forgive me, and I'm like, Betty, like, you're ruining everyone's lives at this point, like.
Yeah, like it's just like not good and you are making it worse every day. And he's not ever gonna like stop with Linda. So then she tells the lawyers they aren't trying right, which is like hilarious.
Yeah,
to me.
she has like our new batch of lawyers. She's like, what is this, Mother Russia? Like, she's going off the rails. Like, everyone sucks. No one's competent enough for Betty, and no one sees her point of view because it's like, nobody can. Like, you're crazy. Like, how many ways can we say this, you know? They went a lot, and she was fighting for like child visitations and like, I don't know. But then during the divorce decree, when they're officially announced divorce, she didn't go.
That's right. Well, because I think similar to the house, like the judge was just like, we can't do this anymore. So I'm going to like just grant this, because I think she was trying to hold it up. And the husband's like, I cannot, she won't do it. And so the judge is like, all right, like, otherwise this is like never, ever going to end. So then she is at La Jolla Galleries working, which I think I've been to, actually. Yeah. And so she calls the coworker's wife from the beginning that they went to Paris with. And she's like, it's tradition. It's your birthday lunch. I'll pick you up. And the friend's like, I can't do anything with you. We're socializing with Dan and Linda. It wouldn't be right.
I found out, I wrote it down. Her name is Marge. Yeah, Marge. Yeah, she's like, I can't. I'm sorry. And she's like, they got to you too, Mother Russia, and like throws the phone down. Like, she's just like, this is terrible.
She's like, I literally have like nothing. And so then she leaves another message. So she's calling Linda like a child whore. And this is when her son's listening to it. And so she's like, Linda's like poor white trash. And again, I mean, it's Dan's fault. Like, it's not Linda's fault. Like, you know, it's not. And it's like, the kid's really upset, obviously, because that's like super disturbing.
Yeah, this part. So he picks up the phone when she's like still going off on her, like however many messages she's left now. And he's just like, Mom, you have to stop. Like, when you say these things, like, it hurts. It's embarrassing. She's like, there's worse things in life than being embarrassed, Grant. And like, it's just like, I don't know. At this point, you know, she's really like lost it, because she's not hearing her poor child. He's so embarrassed. And I actually watched the Oprah like interview with the kids, like when this had first like premiered, and Oprah had talked to Betty like in prison in 1982. And he said actually for that part, because his mom did do that, he was like, my dad had told me that if she stopped talking like that, we could visit with her. Yeah. And so he was like, I was trying to get her to stop saying those things because I wanted to see her, and she just wouldn't stop. And I was like, that's so sad.
It is so sad. And that's the thing. It's like, you either have the tools to do that or you don't. Like, she was not getting any therapy. She was not getting like any self-care. And like, she couldn't stop. Like, she was like completely out of control. So then she calls the kid a traitor.
Yeah.
And
Linda's bad. And she's like, you're a traitor.
Right. Then he like runs up their very nice staircase. And so then the part you were talking about comes where Dan's wearing the cape again to the same gala as in the beginning. Gosh. And
Rusty calls Linda hot, his stepmom. I was like, gross. Did that have to be included? Like, come on.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. That was not needed. So then, okay, he becomes president of the bar association. Then, you know, they're dancing and he proposes to her, which is like, that's so cheap. It's like, he can't like have a different engagement to her. Like, it's like the night he wins something and he's like, well, we're out, so I'm just going to propose here. Like, he's just such.
Yes. I wrote that too. I was like, of all the times I want to remember you proposing is after you win an award and you're wearing a cape. Like, are you kidding me right now? He's so gross. And she's just like, of course, I love you. They didn't even say I love you before he proposed.
I don't think so. And also, like, we don't know what happened in real life, but was she really like, okay, yeah, like, I'm not worried about Betty at all? Like,
right.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously not, because they do get married. I mean,
they do. They sure do.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
Okay, so then Betty's like, your dad's gonna have new kids and he's not gonna want you, you know?
Yeah, she's trying to scare them like into liking Linda, because she's just like, I can't lose the kids. Like, if I lose the kids and I have like no way to manipulate him anymore, I have no way of like, because I don't even think it's about the kids anymore for her. Like, I really think it's about her being like, if I don't have the kids, I can't manipulate Dan, because that's like her like tool to still communicate with him. And so she's like, he won't love you, blah, blah, blah. And the kids are like, they're on like his boat and he's just like, what's up, kiddos? And they're like, you know, mom says that like Linda doesn't love us and you're gonna like choose Linda over us. And he's like, never, you know, this is never gonna happen.
You're really good as Dan Broderick.
I'm gonna dress up as him for Halloween.
It won't be hard. We can find a cheap ass top hat anywhere. So then she buys a gun for protection. It's like, Betty, come on. Like,
yeah, like no one's trying to shoot you, sweetheart. Like nobody cares. Like, yeah, she's buying this because she wants to kill somebody, and you can tell. Like that's just
and
what
again,
it's for.
it's like, I mean, we've talked about this, but it's like, why is she allowed to buy a gun? I mean, seriously, like there clearly has been no checks whatsoever.
Right, she has restraining orders, and they're like, you know what? Here's a gun.
They're like, no problem. So then she has like another nasty phone call. So she calls him a slug in a fancy tie, which I thought was really, really good. And then she's like, are you making it with the dog meat right now?
And it says like on the machine, it's like 33 messages. Like it's going up and up and up. So this is like, she's just calling one after the other. Like, why did he get a new like landline or something? Like he could go unlisted in the yellow pages. Like why?
I know. I mean, but yeah, that stuff would be like mean today. Like that was like really vulgar and mean. So then he finally picks up and he's like, I'm going to start finding you. Like, I'm going to fine you when you swear. I'm going to fine you if you take the kids without asking. And it's coming off of the 16 grand a month. And she's like, what? You know,
I love how she's so surprised every single time that like anybody has retribution. Like she's like, what? You're taking from me? Why? It's like, hello, ding dong. Like you're a psychopath. What do you expect? She just does not get it. I think she really, really thinks she's valid in every single action. Like she thinks everybody else is wrong. And she just does not care and does not think she's doing anything bad.
No. So then it's the oldest daughter's graduation. So Betty tells her friend, like, she used to sleep in a drawer next to them in Boston. And now she's graduating. And I'm like, yeah, like we need more like backstory. Like we need more like they struggled and like suffered and like Betty did everything, you know?
Yeah. If the baby's sleeping in a dresser because you can't afford like a bassinet, like that's kind of a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of rough and stressful. So then, okay, like obviously it's like, you know, Linda is having this life with Dan. But when it comes to the graduation, like I was kind of just like, you know, sometimes people should just like stay home. I know it's not right, but like honestly, like do they really think they're going to go to an event and Betty's not going to like torture them and like cause a scene and like embarrass everybody? Like, I don't know. If I were Linda, I'd be like, I'm going to sit this one out. Like, I will take your daughter to lunch next week. I am not going to this. Like, I'm not, but she does. So then, yeah, Betty.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. Like, why would she go?
If it's about the kid, if it's about the kid, like, don't go. Because you know, and
it's
like
gonna set the wife off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So somehow Betty is like taking pictures and she's surprised that Dan and Linda are there taking pictures too. Like she
when
looks
they're
over
only
and she's
2
like,
feet away.
Yeah. She's like, what are you doing here? And she gets in Linda's face and starts taking pictures of her, which is savage, like so creepy. I was like,
yes,
oof, that is really upsetting.
Yeah. And, you know, they didn't have like cameras like we do now where like you could just like sit from afar and like close up and like take a picture. Like you had to get in people's faces. Like you had to get as close as you could. So she's like in her face. But like what school is just like, you know, I come right up to the front, obstruct everyone's view and take pictures. Like wouldn't the principal be like, get out of here? Like sit your butt down.
That's a good point. I mean, I've always gone to graduations and I've been like, anything I do, I'm like, they're going to kick me out.
No. Yeah. And it's like the ceremony is like in a garden. There's like a fountain in the middle. Like I was like, is this someone's yard? Like it was so bizarre. It was a weird scene for me. But yeah, so she's like totally abrasive and in Linda's face. And Linda's like, listen, lady, if you don't get that camera out of my face, I'm going to shove it down your throat. And Betty's like, click. I'd like to see you try. And of course, Linda doesn't try. She's just like, you know, all hot air. But like, she's pissed off. And the dad's just like, let's just go. Like, this is ruining the day for Kate. And even like at the end, like Betty's friend, like her tried and true friend that's like been through Betty and been on Betty's side. She even said, she's like, Betty, listen, you know, I'm on your side. But like, this was for Kate. Like, this was Kate's day. And you're making a spectacle and you're embarrassing her. And Betty's just like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't, you know, he brings that whore to this ceremony, like embarrassing. And she's like, you gotta let this go.
Then
like,
it has like a sweet white windbreaker. Did you see that? It was like a puffy white windbreaker that was like halfway zipped up. Yeah, I was like, ooh, that is gorgeous. So then it's like, oh, no, the calligrapher can't find the guest list for the wedding. It's like, I think you guys have other things to worry about. Like, Betty has a gun. Like, come on.
Betty has a gun and you don't have a security system.
Like Linda's like, this is bullshit. It's like, okay, but like, so is everything else from the last year. Like, it's a list. I think you'll be okay. Your life is in danger.
Immediately is like, I know who has it. You know, it's Betty. Betty took it. And in my mind, I'm like, wait a second. If you left that list in your house on the counter, why would Betty have it? So you know she's just coming into your house whenever she pleases? Like, what went on? Yeah. Where was the disconnect in their brains to be like, we need to move, we need high security? Like, I would be like, we're out of here. Like, that's it. We'll get a condo where she has no idea where we are. I don't care. I want to live in a building with security guards in the front. I want to live with locked entrances. Like, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah. Like Dan's like, you know what? We're going to change the locks. It's like, what?
He says like, I'll get around to it. Yep. Like, this isn't a dripping faucet. Like, you have to change your locks, dude. Oh my gosh. So then Linda's like, I'm going to be MacGyver and get back at her. Okay, Linda is like brass, man. She just like goes to Betty's house and knocks on the door. And then Betty's not locking her door, which I found odd, but okay. So she like goes in her house. Like,
well, first they go to court. It's just funny that they go to court for this stupid list. Like, they go to court for the list. And Betty's like, I thought it was my stuff. I thought it was mixed in with something that was mine. And they're like, you're not getting alimony, so you turn that list in. And so she doesn't. So then, sorry, go ahead. So Linda.
Yeah. So Linda's like, that's it. Like, she's not having my list, which Linda, wait, you don't have a memory? Like, I don't know. So she's just like, I'm getting the list. So she pops over there and she's going through like Betty's house, which is like ultra creepy because she doesn't know when she'll be home unless maybe she knew she worked. I have no idea. But I would think that Betty, of all people, would have like security cameras and stuff because she just seems like she would think of that. She didn't.
And it's a mess.
Yeah, the house.
Disgusting.
That is such a good point. I never even thought about that because, she kept their house so pristine. Her house is gross. It's like she's let everything go. Like, she's almost like a hoarder, you know? Like, it's just like a single focused on this one issue. Yeah, her house is gross. I didn't even pick that up. Dang, girl, that's good. So
I mean, if that house doesn't scream like this person is mentally unstable, I don't know what does. I mean, it's like, come on, guys.
There's just like garbage and food and like all her stuff left out. And she like starts going through like her like vanity, which is like ultra weird for Linda. Cause I mean, I don't know. That's like a personal, that's of all places, very personal. And she like finds like the gun, I think, right? And then she also finds like this 90-page like autobiography. I forget what she like titles it, but it's just like, I'm going to kill my husband or something.
Yeah, it's called like white collar domestic violence. And I mean, I would like be running my ass out of that house. Like, I would not be like pondering. Like, she's taking her time.
Yeah, it's like a 90-page, like, basically book about how she wants to, like, kill him and, like, how he did all these awful things to her. And she, like, brings it back. She takes it with the list, brings it. No, she leaves the list. She just takes that because later on Betty has the list. So she like takes the autobiography back and she's like, Dan, dude, like he wants to kill us. Like this, she's got a gun. I found the gun. Like she hates us. Like we got to bring this to like the police, to court, whatever. And he's just like, Linda, you broke into Betty's house? Like, that's not going to look good.
Yeah, he's like, I can't have two women in my life breaking the law every day. Like, stop it, you know? So I was just like, that was something where I was like, okay, like Linda does all that and then like nothing even comes of it. And it's like, at the very least, I'd be like, Dan, her house is trash. Like, she's really messed up. Like, you know, she's a danger to like herself and others, you know, but there's
kids go like, let's do a welfare check for the kids, but you could use that to like show them that she has a gun and she has all this weird hate letters and like, yeah, it's just weird.
Right. But Dan's like, we'll just do nothing. So then, yes, so you're right. So Betty does have the list. So then she's like calling people on the list.
Yeah. She's like, I heard that you're friends now with Danny and the whore. Are you going to go to that wedding? You're going to that wedding. You can die too. Like she's just like telling people not to go. And if they do go, that they're traitors and like, you know, they're not. Yeah. She's just losing her mind and trying to destroy their big day. And she's kind of failing. Like everyone's like, you're psycho.
Right. They're like, we're definitely going to see. So then there's like heavy like presidential security.
Yeah. Like the Pope mobile was like hanging out front to take them to like their destination after. Yeah. Like all of a sudden now Dan's calling in the big guns. Like he's like, if she's ever going to try to kill me, it's my wedding day, which I mean, he may not have been wrong. You know,
I agree. And so, yeah, the brother's like, you better wear this bulletproof vest.
Oh my gosh.
Dan's like, I don't want to, you know, and the brother's like, she's seriously gonna try to kill you if you don't.
If you wear the vest, you can wear the cape. Okay.
Yeah. So then the wedding is like, it's like chef's kiss. Like that is like a perfect 90s.
She's got like the flower headband around her forehead with like the weird like flower veil thing in the back. And
it's like everything's pointy. Like it's just
she's super pointy. Everything's puffy. Like she looks like Princess Diana. Like it was just like, yeah. And even in the pictures of the real wedding, that's exactly how it was. Like it was just 90s to a T.
It was perfect. So then Betty's just like super, super depressed. And so at the next soccer game, first of all, Linda's wearing a ridiculous backwards side hat. Did you see that? I was like, what is she trying?
She's like trying to be like Julia Roberts and like stepmom or something. Like she's just like, I'm fun and I'm cool and I'm the new mom and like, but I'm still like going to be respectful of Betty if she would just respect me. And everyone's just like, oh gosh, it's just so tired. Like it's like, Linda, sit down, you know?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Like La Jolla's like, are we ever going to be able to talk about anything else but the Brodericks? I'm not sure. Like it's a little out of control. So then he sees Betty across the field and she just, she's like forlorn and just like so down. And he's not used
like
to that.
She's like pacing the perimeter of the soccer field. Like she looks like out of it. Like she's out of it. Yeah.
So he's like, you know what? I am going to give her visitation because she's in a really bad place and it's time. And Linda's like, Dan, she's dangerous. Like, you know, and he's like, you know what? I finally want to treat the mother of my kids right. You know, like it's time. So Betty has like amazing silk pajamas. I'm super jealous. They look like they're Versace. And Susan's like, Betty, like, I miss the rest of my friends. Like, I can't hang out with anybody because you know, like get mad. And she's like, it's really time for you to move on from all of this. She's like, you're funnier than two comedians I can name.
Oh yeah. Betty's like like her one true friend that, she's just like, you're so funny and wonderful when you're not psychotic, you know, like everything. She's just like, he got to you, didn't he? He got to you, that Nazi. Get out of my house, you Nazi. Like she's just like losing her mind. She's like, you're a traitor. You're a traitor, you know? And it's like, okay, so that relationship is over. Like her friend's like, all right, I'm just going to see my way out. And she does.
Yeah. So that was her like only friend left. So then Dan and Linda are having, you know, a double date at the boat club. And I don't know, like Dan's just making like really lame jokes. Betty's looking at all the legal papers again. And did you notice like her boyfriend's over? Like her boyfriend's like hanging out with the kids.
Jerry. Yeah. Like I thought maybe that was like the court ordered social worker, but you're right. That is like Jerry or whatever his name was, like that she had hung out before, like Betty's like boo or something. Like, yeah, but they're not in the same bed together later. Like she falls asleep with her son.
It's like all she's doing is looking at court papers like 24 hours a day. It's like, Betty, you've got a man.
I know, even like with her kids there, because she's just like, her kid is like, the youngest is like, Mom, I don't feel good, you know? And she's like, he's like, can I sleep with you? And she's like, sure, bud. So she like brings him upstairs and like tucks him in. And she's even looking at the paperwork with like her flu ravaged son, like next to her. Like she's crazy. Now, before we get to the last scene, I have to say this though, Dan's jokes, did you catch? He was like, if I see Brett Butler, then I'm like, holy cow.
And Rhett is the name of one of their kids in real life too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like,
is it Rhett or Brett?
It's Rhett.
I was it was Brett.
Well, it's Rhett Butler from Gone with the Wind. And because then they make some other joke about Scarlett O'Hara. And I'm like,
wait a minute. Who am I thinking of? I'm thinking of that Grace Under Fire lady.
Oh my God.
What's her name?
Stop. I am dead right now. Stop. Oh my.
That's who I thought he was talking about.
Stop it. No, stop. I am dead. So she's Brett Butler, but he's talking about Rhett Butler from Gone with the Wind. And the reason why I realized, because then they say something about Scarlett O'Hara, and I'm like, why are they being so lame? And then I'm like, oh, because that movie is probably so old now that it's probably like public rights. Like you could probably talk about those characters.
I thought
Obviously,
it was Brett
Butler would have been way better. I'm going to look up how to watch that later. It has been too long. It has been too long.
You can tell that I watch a lot of really weird, bad TV, like Degrassi and Canadian films now. If you like listen to us, you know where my mind goes. It wasn't Gone with the Wind. It was Grace Under Fire.
I mean, also an American classic. Like, stop. You are out of control
like,
today.
I'm the type of person that, like, if you're like, do you remember the Torkelsons? I'll be like, I do. Like, nobody knows these things. Do you know the Torkelsons?
That is so amazing. Yeah, I do. And last night, my daughter was like, I want to watch Rugrats, you know? I was like, me too. But then it's like only on, I don't know, Paramount Plus now. And I have no more free trials. So I'm like, and then I found it on YouTube, but it was like an entire like Nick at Night VHS recording. So it was all the commercials with like Rocko's Modern Life, Real Monsters, Hey Arnold. I was like, oh my God. I was like losing it. She's like, can we just watch Rugrats now? And I was like, all right. But it really took me back.
I love those moments where you like randomly remember things and you're like, wait, what? Yeah.
I love when you say Brett Butler. Like, that is amazing.
Yeah, good old Bretty. But so anyways, moving on. That was not the case. It was for Gone with the Wind, which I don't even think I've seen.
Yeah, well, you know, it's like you should see it, but it's also, you know, pretty racist. And, you know, just, we're like past that time. So she doesn't even kiss her boyfriend goodnight, which really bothers me. Like, I don't like that.
I think that's why I thought he was like the court ordered social worker, because there's like no flames between them. And like, if that was him, like they're kind of early in their relationship. Like, once you be like, hey baby, once I put him to bed, like, let's hang out. But like, no, she's just like, gotta get to my paperwork. And she falls asleep next to her like flu ravaged son, because she wakes up like sweating, which I'm like, that poor kid. And can you imagine sweating with silk? Like, that was a sticky situation. She like wakes up, and this is what I wrote. I was like, did she have the flu too? Because did she have like a flu dream or something? Like, you know, when you're like delirious with a fever and you're just kind of like out of it. Like, I was like, is that why she went over there? Or like, what happened in that nighttime, that little bit where like she just knew she had to go over there and like kill him? Like, what was?
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know, but I know before that, and this is where casting like gets involved with this, because it's like, you know, Dan's like doing crunches before bed. Like, you know, the wife's like, let's bang, you know, one last time.
Like,
And
these women never have their periods. Like, I swear. Like, they always are open for business. Like, it's
they
like,
do not. And I was just, again, like, he's just like not appealing at all. Like, I felt like, I don't know, like different casting, because it was one of those movies like where I didn't feel anything for like most of the characters. And I was like, I wish they would have casted him better, because this really is like a horrendous thing to have happen. And I am like not feeling it. Like, I'm just not. Like, my reaction's like, okay. Like, I'm just not getting there. And so I guess they're trying to make it out like he's like super athletic. He's super, like he's just like very desirable. And I'm just like, I don't feel that at all from this person playing
like,
Dan.
Yeah, he's got like the center bald where it's like the little patch of like mountain of hair, and then it's like balding, and then there's like hair in the back. Like, he's not, even with hair, he's not attractive. Like, he's just like regular, regular folk. Like, not a big deal, but yeah, I don't know.
So then they're watching It's a Wonderful Life, I think, at both houses. And I was like, that's wild.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, okay, in the movie, the door is open, which is like, come on. But in real life, she stole the key, right? From Kate. She like stole a key, I think, and got in that way.
Okay, that makes sense. I did not understand how she got in, but that makes sense.
Yeah. So, yeah, then it's like the culmination of all of the court, all of the harassment, all of the violence, all of the threats. And yeah, she shoots them. And he does not die right away.
No, he tries to grab the phone, and she like yanks it out of his hand and like rips the cord out like of the thing. And like, she's like, no, you're dying. And because I think Linda dies pretty instantly, because she like shoots her in the stomach or somewhere near the heart or something like that. So I don't think she really suffered for very long. But yeah, he suffered and tried to get help, but it's just, that was it. Because I think she shot him more than once.
I think she did too. And I think I read that like they talked after she shot him, which is like,
oh my gosh,
oof.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's bad.
He was alive for that long to be able to talk?
Apparently.
Wow.
So, yeah.
She said that, so she said in an interview that she had gone over there to kill herself, and that she just couldn't take it anymore, and she was going to like kill herself. But it's like, no, I don't buy that for 1 second. I just don't.
I don't either. I mean, do I think she was like completely out of her mind for like years? Yeah. But like, I don't think she went over there thinking she was going to kill herself. I think she went over there thinking she was probably going to shoot them, or in her mind, which was very warped. Like, it's like the whole like punishment thing. Like, maybe if I scare them, like he'll finally change his mind, like whatever.
I just think that, yeah, especially the fact that like he was still alive. Like, if you were really like, oh my gosh, I just acted in passion, like, wouldn't you go get help or be like, I'm really sorry or something? Because now like you're going away for like 2 counts of murder. I mean, like, your life is done, like it's over. But I guess in her mind it already was, because I don't think she cared. I think it was just one of those things that she just had to like destroy. Like, it was just like, I'm done. You can't exist and I exist. It's one or the other. And her kids said that. Like, her kids were like, she always said like, it's going to come down to this. Like, either he's going to kill me or I'm going to kill him. Like, one of us is dying. And she would say that like all the time. But I think like only you wanted to kill people. Like, I don't think he ever wanted to kill anybody.
No, he just wanted to like get away from her, and that just wasn't possible. So I didn't know her name was Elizabeth.
I know, that's my name. I was like,
why? I was like, should we call you Betty?
I want to be called Bets.
Bets. I like Bets. That's kind of cute. So then, yeah, like, we've mentioned it's like she like has no remorse at all. And
no. And she like goes to like a payphone, like on the beach, which I don't even think, like, I know back then there was payphones, but like on the beach, really? Oh, so she like goes on the beach, and I guess I never knew who she called, but she called her oldest daughter. So she called Kate to admit that she's like, I did it, like I finally did it. And like, oh, gosh. Yeah. Like, could you imagine being her daughter and being like, what do you even say? Be like, you did what now?
Right. Like, oh my gosh. It's like so horrendous for these kids.
Yeah. But like on the interview on Oprah, and I'm not trying to judge these kids at all. Like, but they were just like oddly calm. Like, it was almost just like everything was just kind of like matter of fact. Like there was not really emotions in any of it, but it's like maybe because I don't know. It just was a very cold interview, and I'm not judging them. I don't know what's going on with them, but it was very cold. It was a very cold interview.
Yeah, I do remember it being sort of monotone. And I think, like, you know, honestly, it's like, I mean, hopefully they've gotten help, but I'm sure they're still like in survival mode. I mean, I can't even imagine like those formative years. And it's like your parents are acting that way. And then it's like the one that like you kind of had more stability with, like, gets murdered by your mom. I mean, it's like,
yeah.
I don't know. And plus, like, it's just like there was so much that was part of their life. Like, you know, it's like they didn't even know probably like how prestigious their parents were. Like I, you know, looked up those properties now. It's like the house they were fixing is worth like $3 million now. The house that she buys by the ocean is worth like 5.6. I mean,
oh my gosh.
You know, it's like big properties, and they probably just had no idea like what was at stake, what they were going to lose, like how their lives were going to change after this.
Yeah. Well, I think
Horrible.
all the kids went off and lived with different family members, and then they like had to get like Betty says, like they're working like minimum wage jobs and things like that. And because I don't think that they got any of the wealth until they were 30.
Okay. So yes. So Betty does get 32 years to life.
Right.
And
she tries to parole like numerous times, but she's always been denied.
Yes, because they're like, you're not sorry, and you would do this again if you had the choice.
Right.
Yeah, she's like, I don't understand what you don't understand about what I did. So then there's actually, as we mentioned, a sequel to this, which is pretty rare for made-for-TV movies. So there's a lot more to the story, and I think we'll cover that in like our part 2 of like the Betty Broderick saga, because I think we do want to talk a little bit more about her history as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in general, this movie is very entertaining. You know, I feel like if you don't know the story at all, when you watch it, you get a pretty good picture, even though it's incomplete in terms of like perspective. But yeah, it's just like 90s fun. As always, we are on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we are on rss.com, and we're on YouTube. So please
check us out.
Spread us around.
Yeah.
Share with your friends. As always, we love new followers, and we really appreciate suggestions. So feel free to leave us comments. You can also email us. And we just really appreciate you, and we love our podcast so much. Stay tuned for more. We love you. Have a wonderful day.
Yep. See you later.